A horror sequel almost is never good. So what makes The Conjuring 2 any different? Maybe it was actually good? Guys, The Conjuring 2. For those who don't know, I really liked the first Conjuring. I did not know going into the first Conjuring that it was considered the scariest film ever. So when I was actually watching it, it actually was effective for me. Because, let's just face it, if someone says this is the scariest thing ever, you're going to go into it with such high expectations that when you actually see it, oftentimes you're going to be disappointed. So for me, I didn't go in with that, and I actually found it to be effective. And I've seen the first Conjuring a couple times. I thought it was really good. The second Conjuring, I think, is good. Not as good, but I do think it is good. It still follows Ed and Lorraine, just not as much. They're still doing the same things that they were doing in the first one, except Lorraine has slowly drifted away from that. Physically and mentally, it seems that it is tormenting her, and she really doesn't want to be doing it anymore. But the problem is, there is this family in England that is being affected by this ghost. Or is it a ghost? Because other people are saying this family could be making it up. So the question is this family making it up or isn't it? And this is based on a true story. Some of the things in this film are poetic license, and then other things actually did happen. So it's kind of cool to see the line of what's real and what's not. Now, for me, this film, the cinematography has to be the best thing about it. Horror films often rely on shaky camera work, and that's not the case with this film. James Wan is great at directing this film, and the camera work is very smooth, a lot of tracking shots. It's beautiful, a lot of long takes. I loved it, just like the first film. The music is also very creepy, building tension with ease. There are a lot of scenes in this film where you think something's going to come up, and it actually doesn't. But the tension is just constantly building, and that's great because you're thinking something's going to come up, it doesn't, and then when it actually does, it's like, oh wow, it's like I kind of saw that coming, but at the same time, it surprised me. And that's always good. Although I don't like jump scares, when it is effectively done, I must say I do like it. And this film has a lot of effective jump scares. Not memorable, not as memorable as the first one, but they do a good job of putting you in the seats of these characters. As far as flaws go, I have to say that around the halfway mark, I kind of was thinking in my mind, this is getting a little bit repetitive. The second act was a bit repetitive. There were instances where it was like, okay, we've seen kind of this before, we've seen this kind of before. And the familiarity also is a little jarring because this film is essentially The Exorcist just for our generation. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I couldn't really shake that feeling off of, okay, I have seen some of this before, but it is still effectively done. I also have a problem, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a moment or two where they go from practical effects to CGI, and it's very apparent. You can definitely see through it. You can see that they are using CGI, and it's not effectively done. It looks very fake, and it took me out of the scene because literally just before you see the thing, you are creeped out, and then you see it and you're like, well, I'm taken out of the scene. And I don't like that when something takes me out of a scene or a movie. But overall, guys, The Conjuring 2 is very effective. It does leave you chilled at the end. Driving home, it wasn't exactly fun because you're just silent, but that's a good thing. And overall, when I thought about it and everything's said and done, I'll be giving The Conjuring 2 a 4 out of 5 star rating. This is definitely worth seeing in theaters, guys. Not as good as the first one, as said before, but definitely see it if you can. And let me know your thoughts if you've seen The Conjuring 2 already. I know it's probably going to do well at the box office. But also, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. And as always, thank you very much for watching.